What's up everyone? In this episode of Motive Garage presented by Sparesbox, we are at Pheasantwood for the very first shakedown of JET200 version 5. Let's get it on. So we're at Pheasantwood Circuit in Marulan, New South Wales for our very first shakedown of JET200. All of the boys are here. Matt from Red Sun, Lindsay as well, helping crew the car. We've got Chris Spicer here from CS Engineering, and we've got Chris from Shockworks here as well. So the whole team is here to make sure we get a good shakedown ready for World Time Attack, which is only 2 weeks away. Now, if you've been watching the series on the build of JET200, you know we've been sorting out a lot of little issues, and the whole purpose of this shakedown is to basically get the car to a point where it can do multiple laps reliably. Why is that so important? It's so that our proper test day next Friday, with John Boston in the car, he can go and do laps and we can actually develop the car to go quicker, because it's very hard to go quicker if you can't get the car reliable first. So the number one priority of today is to find issues, fix them, and make sure the car can swing some laps. And you know what? I am pumped to get back behind the wheel of JET200. Let's go. Well, they call it a shakedown for a reason, and the whole idea is test the car, see what works, what doesn't work. There's a lot of things that happen on a racetrack that just don't happen on a dyno. You've got more vibration, you've got more noise, you've got airflow, you've got heaps more going on with the car, and the whole idea of a shakedown is to go and find the bugs, iron them out. In that session, we did find a bug that caused a bit of a misfire in the transient response area, and I think the air temp sensor failed. It's just really old. Or the connection's just gotten old, and we've got to fix that up. That probably was the reason why it was doing it, but we've got to double check. I got a bit of a chance to feel the car out there, and the start setting that between myself, Chris from Shockworks, and DNA Autosport that we put into the car is a perfect starting point for the car. Felt great. Oh, hi Chris. Just talking to camera. You want to say hi?
Oh, hi.
We got the band back together, it's even better. It's really weird. We're the only car here today Only one. The entire team is here. So CS Engineering, Chris is here, Matt from Red Sun, Lindsay from Red Sun, Chris from Shockworks is here. You even bought your apprentice, right?
Yep. We closed shop today just to be here. So.
See, the whole gang's back. Yep. Why is the whole gang back? I'll be honest with you, fun.
Yep.
The reason we all come together to race is purely fun. And even though it's a shakedown, we take it seriously, we're still having fun. But yeah, so far car looks composed, right?
Yeah, no, it's just, yeah.
For a shakedown,
make sure
that's
nothing falls
pretty
off
good. I actually started getting into it.
Get a bit of, it's more to get us hands-on it again and keep track of everything, because being away from the car for so long, we fail, like we slip away.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like where we were every month or we're taking it out somewhere and we knew the car inside and out. We've got to relearn the car again, and there's that many changes on it now too. We have to get our head around that and just try and make problems today before it happens when we don't want the problems to occur. So,
which sounds weird, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
I want to get it hot. I want to try and lock up the brakes.
We don't want to break it, but we want to make it hurt a little bit now, so we know what we've got to fix before it hurts when we don't want it to hurt. Basically. I said my goal is for the shakedown is to be able to do 4 flying laps back to back. Now we're going to have an issue with that. I had a chat to the track guy.
Too loud already?
Yeah, he said we can give it squirts, but we can't do a full flyer.
Right.
It's going to be an issue, so you need to just calm down on the next one, and
so
maybe
probably calm the straight down.
Just calm the straight down, and then maybe
Hail Mary at the end.
Yeah. So do
that's
one flyer
right.
as well, but don't upset them too. You know.
I'm not worried about a lap time. I'm just worried about I need a feel for the car. I need to know the starting point works. I need to know where to go from there. I need to know the.
We've already found a couple of teething problems, so we're on that now.
Yeah.
Which is good, but
yeah, it's a crazy track. I actually haven't driven it in this layout ever.
It's really laid back here, especially being the only cars here. It's good.
What do you mean laid back? Yeah. So laid back is no one here.
Which is good. But.
So yeah, no, I'd call the first session successful.
Yeah.
I've certainly had worst.
Oh, we've definitely done worse.
We've had way worse first sessions than that. Remember the old
we've
sequential?
had worse drives up the street. Testing.
So far is look, in the big scheme of things, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the problem is we don't have the airflow here that we do at Sydney Motorsport Park, so the cooling system is going to probably struggle a little bit here compared to...
We've already found some problems with the car now that probably won't be a problem at Eastern Creek.
Exactly.
Just due to speed and...
but hey, if we can sort them out here, we can sort them out. So.
Yeah, we'll just use today as a seat time for you and seat time for the car. Get everything happening again and all circuits working.
Let's do it. Let's go. So just came back in from the second session and things are still traveling really well. Matt wanted me to go out and test the air temp sensor that we fixed for 2 laps. That worked. He's basically after that said, go for it. Go. Give it a couple of laps so we can actually check and find more issues. So we are finding little things in the tune that you don't really see on the dyno and you don't really probably see at Sydney Motorsport Park. And the problem that we're having is the gearing in this car, most of these corners are second gear in every car, but our gears are quite long. So second is just like right in the wrong spot, basically. It's right on the cusp of the VVL turning on and the turbo is sort of just starting to wake up, but just that tiny bit too low. Like if we had another 500 RPM at each of those corners, it'd probably be totally fine. So we have to remember that the gearing is part of it. If we wanted to do an actual lap time, I'd have to go back to first gear in a couple of spots if I was really trying to get that lap time. But we're not trying to hurt the car and obviously go for lap times. We're just trying to shake it down and make sure it can do what we need it to do. My goal for today, like I said, is to be able to do 4 flying laps without an issue. If it can do 4 flying laps without an issue here, then it should be able to do 2 flying laps at Sydney Motorsport Park without an issue, which gives John time in the car. The last thing we want is testing on next Friday at Sydney Motorsport Park is to do, you know, half a lap, half a lap, a lap, half a lap. We want John to be able to go out, feel the car out. So today's more about being mechanically reliable and things not hitting and things not falling off, while next Friday is more about making the car faster. But honestly, between Chris from Shockworks, DNA Autosport, and the work we put into the base setting, man, I'm comfortable in the car instantly. It doesn't scare me. Even round the back, fully sideways, was carrying heaps of speed, but it still felt really composed and balanced. So yeah, chassis is really good. So I'm going to give it a cool down, check some logs, check over the whole car now, because it's had a bit of heat through it, and we'll get into it. Oh, hi Chris. You can come in again. You're going to intercept every interview.
There's your
thank you. Back. We're just saying that basically now is, now that it's had some proper temperature in it, it's actually had a bit of load put on it. It's just pretty much
really impressed with that intercooler, eh?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
compared to what it was for, Hypertune did the intercooler in the car, and we came back in, and Andrew's like, straight away I checked the dash, like run through the pages just quickly while it was running, and he's like, the air temp, that seems wrong, it was 25 degrees, and then I popped the bonnet, put my hand on the pipe, it felt 25 degrees, and I'm like, no, I think you're right, eh? And then Matty got his thermal cam bang, it was 23 degrees. So, and
even after heat soak, you'll see the video, even after some heat soak and idling, it was still 32 degrees.
That's really impressive. We've never seen cooling like that before.
Very good.
Especially too after doing a few on and off hot laps like that, that's really good.
So I've got a few hot, and not even high speed either. So 32 degrees after heat soaking in the pits with an 80 degree outlet pipe from the turbo. So
just that 50 degree drop just in the cooler is amazing.
Huge.
We never got that before. I think we're on about 30 or 40 degrees after a flyer. So
it's water temps in the car are probably a little bit higher than before, whether that's the intercooler blocking airflow or just a low speed track, who knows.
But even a larger head and stuff on the car too, and more water in it.
It'll be fine at Sydney Motorsport Park. There'll be enough airspeed there. There's just not enough airspeed here to do it. So it's not getting hot. It's just, instead of staying below 92, it got to like 94 on one of them.
Yep.
That's it. Like, it's not enough to be alarmed. But it's enough to notice that it is slightly warmer running than it used to be.
But saying that too, it did run warmer at Wakefield than what it did at Eastern Creek too.
Correct.
That straight used to cool everything down. So
it cool everything down. Even your hot, beautiful red hair. Let's go get it ready. So like most shakedowns, the moment you start to get some confidence in the car and start to have a bit of a go, that's usually when something else goes wrong. So a tail shaft exploded. I don't know what to tell you other than that's what happened. Coming onto the straight, I was more aggressive with the car this time, so what I was doing is to check if that weird mist that happens at that sort of part throttle around where the VV like L comes on, I said, do you want me to just drive it and keep the revs up a little bit higher? So go back into first on some of those tight corners, because I've got a very long first gear in the car. First goes to 100. So back to first, and just keep the revs up and drive it a bit better, and it was working. So I was starting to have a little bit of fun, came onto the straight, and the tail shaft exploded. Got back in, the guys found the tail shaft, front section tail shaft on the ground. So it's a two-piece tail shaft, which we have to use for vibration at mega high speeds. Look, at the end of the day, it broke. Who built it last time? I can't even remember, it was that long ago. So we've come away from this test session with some good data. We've got a couple of things to fix. We're actually finding that the Nitto oil pump has so much flow and so much pressure, kind of like what a GDR does. We're getting oil trapped in the head, so we are losing a little bit of oil pressure up top in some gears. It's not after a slow section, it's really only when you get onto the straight and you've gone through a few gears, oil must be pooling in the head to lose a little bit of oil pressure. The accumulator smooths out that oil pressure drop, so rather than being a massive spike as it sort of, might miss out on a bit of oil, the accumulator's fixing that. So it's actually not the problem with the pump, it's the problem with the oil flow in the head. Because the VEs, you actually block an oil return, so like a GDR, they haven't got a lot of oil return. So Matt knows how to fix this. We didn't know if my car would get it or not, and it is. So we need to sort out oil return from the head. We need to obviously get a new tail shaft. And to be honest, that's really all we need to do with the car at this stage. We're going to check a couple of things on the dyno in regards to that sort of VVL transition area and see if we can sort that out. It's sort of a little bit intermittent. It's not coil packs, it's not plugs or anything. It's just, it just has this weird little sort of spot where it can get a bit of a miss at light throttle as you sort of start to come on. And like if the revs are up, it doesn't do it, but if the revs aren't up, it does. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I was starting to enjoy myself. I was probably more annoyed that broke, more because I was just starting to enjoy myself. But overall, like looking at it objectively, that's disappointing, but looking at it subjectively and standing back as an assessment, overall the shakedown was a success. You always get teething issues on a shakedown. If you're not, you're either not trying hard enough or you've built a slow boring car. So everyone's pretty happy with what we've found out. So we'll go sort that out and get ready for our first proper test. Very happy with the chassis. The braking has been improved. Chris made some adjustments to the bias, and even just that little session was enough to realise the brakes are better. But overall, man, Shockworks coilovers in the car. I thought the car would be way too stiff for my liking, but it's killer. DNA Autosport did a great job with the alignment that we worked out, so very happy with the chassis. In fact, the chassis is the one thing I did not worry about. Cooling is fantastic. The actual power and drivability once the revs are up is fantastic. So there's a lot of good things that came out of today, and just a few things to sort out, but that's modifying cars, right? Like at the end of the day, we're a privateer team modifying a car that honestly is faster than what the entire team, I guess, is in their experience zone. We're all trying to push faster than we've ever gone before, and that's where you start to find issues, and that's where you start to, trial and error and start to learn. So overall, very happy. There's nothing that we can't fix before next Friday, which is good. So we'll get it sorted for next Friday's test day, and we'll go again. Don't forget, subscribe, like, notification bell, all that stuff. We'll see you next time.